Chosen one, you're about to see why they couldn't stop you. For so long, you've walked through storms that were designed to break you, faced people who underestimated you, and endured seasons that tried to convince you your purpose was over. But every single thing you went through had one purpose: to reveal what could not be destroyed inside you. The same power that carried you through those dark nights. The same divine strength that kept you standing when everything around you was falling apart. That was heaven showing you that you were built from something eternal. You were chosen, not because life would be easy for you, but because you were destined to overcome what others could not survive. The people who tried to block you didn't understand what they were up against. They thought they were fighting you, but they were standing in the way of something sacred. You don't move by human strength. You move by divine assignment. Every attempt to stop you was really an attempt to interrupt heaven's plan, and that's why it never worked. No matter what they said, no matter what they did, somehow you kept rising. Somehow you found peace in the middle of pain. Somehow you found direction when everything seemed lost. That somehow was never luck, it was God. You've been through too much to be ordinary now. Every wound became a lesson. Every betrayal became a revelation. Every moment of silence became a classroom where heaven taught you resilience. You learned how to stand when no one was clapping. You learned how to heal without closure. You learned how to pray even when you couldn't see the answer. That's why they couldn't stop you. Because while they were focused on the surface, God was working on your spirit. He was teaching you how to depend on Him, not them. Chosen one, what you didn't realize during the battle is that you were being fortified. Every obstacle was a test, and you passed them all. Every closed door was redirection, not rejection. Every delay was divine timing keeping you hidden until the right moment. And now that moment is here. You are stepping into a season where the very people who doubted you will have to witness what divine favor looks like. They'll see you standing in peace, walking in purpose, thriving in places they never expected you to reach. And they'll realize that what they tried to block wasn't you. It was destiny. God allowed certain people to rise against you so that He could show them what happens when He's the one who anoints. He allowed your name to be doubted so that when He blesses you publicly, it would be clear that no one but Him deserves the credit. You didn't fight your way here. You endured your way here. You trusted through tears. You believed through silence. You moved through uncertainty. And now heaven is saying, you're about to see why none of it could stop you. Because the hand of God was on you the entire time. There were moments when you thought it was over. Times you almost gave up. Times you felt too tired to keep going. Times you questioned your purpose. But even then, something deep inside you refused to quit. That was your calling refusing to die. That was your spirit remembering what your mind had forgotten. That you were chosen before the battle began. You were marked for victory before you even faced the fight. That's why the attacks were so intense, because the enemy saw what you couldn't yet see. You were destined for something bigger. Chosen one, you've come through too much to go back now. The old pain can't hold you anymore. The old fear can't silence you anymore. You've been refined by the fire, not burned by it. You've been shaped by pressure, not destroyed by it. The same flames that were meant to consume you became the fire that purified you. You are walking proof that divine purpose always prevails. They tried to shut the door, but God built a new one. They tried to silence your voice, but heaven amplified it. They tried to bury you, not realizing you were a seed. And now, that seed has taken root. The same soil that was meant to cover you is the soil that's producing your harvest. The same situations that were designed to weaken you are now your testimony. The same words that were used against you will now become the very proof of your resilience. You will see how God turns every pain into power, every rejection into redirection, and every setback into setup. You're about to see that it all had a reason. Every tear was watering your purpose. Every night you kept going was building your legacy. Chosen one, understand this. The reason they couldn't stop you is because you were never running on your own energy. You were being carried by grace. When you were exhausted, grace carried you. When you were confused, faith guided you. When you were afraid, divine love surrounded you. Heaven had already declared your victory long before the opposition showed up. You were never fighting for the win. You were walking toward a win that was already written. Now, the very things that once oppressed you will serve as your platform. The same story that caused you pain will inspire others. The same silence that tried to break you will become your message. You'll speak from the wounds you healed from, and people will find hope in your voice. That's what makes you unstoppable. You've turned pain into purpose. You no longer need validation from those who misunderstood you. Your peace is your proof, and your progress is your answer. The tables are turning now. The energy is shifting. Everything that once worked against you will now begin to work for you. The ones who laughed will have to watch God lift you. The ones who counted you out will have to witness how grace counts differently. You are stepping into a season where divine justice is about to speak on your behalf. You don't have to defend yourself. Your results will do it for you. Heaven is preparing to reveal why you had to go through everything you went through, so that when people see you now, they'll know it was only God. Chosen one. Your survival was never the goal. Your revival was. And now, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're walking with wisdom that pain taught you, carrying peace that only comes after warfare, and shining with a light that no one can dim. This is your moment of divine vindication. Everything is coming full circle, and you're about to witness the justice of heaven unfold in your life. So walk boldly now. Don't look back. Don't question how. Just keep moving forward with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that what's meant for them can't be stopped by anything or anyone. The same God who preserved you in private is about to honor you in public. You are living proof that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You are walking evidence that faith outlasts opposition. You are standing as testimony that destiny cannot be delayed forever. Chosen one, you're about to see why they couldn't stop you. Because it was never you they were fighting. It was what God placed inside you. And what God starts, no one can finish but Him. The same light that kept you through the storm is now guiding you into victory. You've earned this peace. You've survived the breaking. You've proven your faith. Now it's time to witness the fulfillment. The promise is here. The fight is over. The victory is yours. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a revelation. A moment where heaven itself is about to make it undeniably clear why nothing and no one could stop you. Every obstacle, every betrayal, every delay, and every heartbreak was part of a divine setup. You were not being destroyed. You were being developed. You were being refined in the silence, molded in the waiting, and strengthened in the storms. The battles that seemed designed to break, you were actually the training grounds that prepared you for where you're going next. You see, Chosen one, there were people who watched your struggle and assumed you were finished. They saw your pain and thought it meant defeat. What they didn't realize was that you were walking with divine endurance. The hand of God was covering you the entire time. Even when it looked like you were surrounded, heaven was fighting for you behind the scenes while you were learning how to keep standing. You became dangerous to the darkness because you learned how to survive without validation, how to keep believing when nothing made sense, and how to keep loving when you had every reason to harden your heart. That's why they couldn't stop you, because what was protecting you was invisible but invincible. When God chooses someone for a divine purpose, He allows pressure to build around them. He lets storms rise, enemies gather, and resistance increase, not to destroy them, but to reveal them. The pressure doesn't come to punish you. It comes to activate the power that's inside you. You are like a seed that had to be buried in the soil, surrounded by darkness, cut off from the light. But even underground, you were growing. They thought they buried you, but they didn't know you were being planted. The isolation was not rejection, it was incubation. Chosen one, this is the season where everything hidden is about to be revealed. You are going to see that all those sleepless nights, all the prayers that seemed unanswered, and all the doors that slammed shut were not moments of failure. They were divine redirections. God wasn't saying no. He was saying not there. You were never denied. You were being protected, because what was meant for you was too sacred to be shared with those who didn't have the capacity to value it. That's why He separated you. That's why you had to walk alone. That's why He removed your crutches and made you rely on faith alone. Every time you cried out, "Why me?" Heaven was whispering, "Because you can handle it." You have the kind of spirit that refuses to quit. You've fallen, but you always stood back up. You've been overlooked, but you kept showing up. You've been betrayed, but you kept your heart pure. You didn't let the bitterness consume you. You didn't let the pain change you into someone you're not. That's divine strength, not weakness. That's what makes you unstoppable. The ability to walk through the fire and still come out shining. You are about to enter a time where the things that once worked against you will start working for you. The people who dismissed you will now have to watch as God elevates you. Those who tried to humiliate you will witness your restoration. But don't seek revenge. Your victory is your vindication. You don't need to prove yourself. Your success will do that for you. God is preparing a table in the presence of your enemies, not to embarrass them, but to demonstrate his faithfulness to you. Chosen one, understand this. They couldn't stop you because they didn't understand your source. You were never moving by your own strength. Even when you were exhausted, something supernatural kept pushing you forward. That was grace. Every time you said, "I can't take this anymore," and still woke up the next morning ready to try again, that was grace. Every time you forgave someone who didn't deserve it, that was divine maturity. Every time you chose peace over anger, you rose higher in the spirit. That's why they couldn't reach you, because you were evolving on a level they couldn't perceive. And now the reward is coming, not just in material blessings, but in peace, clarity, and purpose. You will begin to understand that everything had meaning. The waiting taught you patience. The rejection taught you self-worth. The heartbreak taught you boundaries. The failure taught you humility. The loss taught you faith. And all of it together made you unshakable. You no longer need approval. You have alignment. You no longer chase what's fading. You attract what's divine. You've learned how to live from a higher place, from your purpose, not your pain. Chosen one, God is now revealing the reason behind your resilience. You're about to see the full picture, the connections that form, the opportunities that align, the people who appear at the right time. What once confused you will begin to make sense. You'll look back at what tried to stop you and laugh, because you'll see that it never even had a chance. The hand of God was always stronger. His plan was always greater. His timing was always perfect. You were never losing. You were being led. You'll notice that doors will start opening without effort. Conversations will lead to opportunities that feel divine. People will begin to mention your name in rooms you've never entered. The energy around you will shift, not because you forced it, but because heaven has released favor over your life. Everything that once resisted, you will start to align with ease. You won't have to chase what's meant for you. It will recognize you. The light within you is calling it forth. And when that happens, stay grounded. Remember the nights you prayed for moments like this. Remember the tears that watered your faith. Remember the times you almost gave up but didn't. Keep your heart humble and your spirit grateful. Don't forget who carried you here. Your elevation is not just for you. It's for everyone who will see your story and find faith again. You're a living example of how grace wins, how light always prevails, how God always keeps his promises. Chosen one, this is not just a new chapter, this is a new book. The story that once looked like defeat is turning into a divine masterpiece. You are the testimony that pain can't silence, that faith can't fail, that purpose can't be stopped. You've been through enough to know that what's ahead is worth everything you endured. The waiting was not wasted, it was working. So walk boldly into what's next. The same God who brought you through the hardest seasons is now bringing you into your harvest. The same grace that protected you is now propelling you. The same faith that sustained you is now about to reward you. The storm is over. The chains are broken. The fear has lost its voice. You're free now, free to rise, free to shine, free to walk fully in your calling. Chosen one, you're about to see why they couldn't stop you, because your destiny was never in their hands. It was always in God's. And what he ordains, no one can delay. What he blesses, no one can curse. What he starts, no one can stop. You are proof that divine purpose always prevails. Keep walking, keep believing, and keep shining, because the world is about to witness what unstoppable faith looks like. Chosen one, the reason they couldn't stop you goes deeper than you even realize. What you've been walking through was not a random series of hardships. It was a divine blueprint, written by the hand of God Himself, designed to awaken everything that was hidden inside you. The trials didn't come to destroy you. They came to reveal you. They came to teach you how to depend on something higher, something unshakable, something eternal. And now the veil is lifting. You are starting to see that every time they tried to tear you down, they were actually building your foundation. Every attack, every disappointment, every closed door, all of it was adding weight to your purpose. You had to be tested in secret so that you could be trusted in public. There were moments you didn't understand why people turned against you, why opportunities slipped away, or why your name was dragged through the mud. But what you couldn't see then was that God was using those very moments to purify your motives. He was teaching you how to walk without needing applause. He was building a version of you that would not crumble under pressure or pride. Because when the spotlight of favor shines, it reveals everything, both strength and weakness. So before He elevated you, He stripped away the parts of you that couldn't survive at the top. That's why it hurts so much. He wasn't taking from you. He was making you ready. Chosen one. They couldn't stop you because they were fighting the wrong battle. They thought they were coming against you in the natural, but your strength was spiritual. You don't fight with anger or revenge. You fight with peace, with faith, with surrender. Every time they pushed you, you prayed. Every time they gossiped, you forgave. Every time they lied, you stayed silent. And that silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Heaven was watching, and your restraint became your weapon. Because when you choose peace in chaos, you give God room to fight for you. And He did. Quietly, powerfully, faithfully. Now, everything that once worked against you is about to be turned in your favor. The same people who tried to block you will unknowingly open doors for you. The same words that were spoken to break your confidence will end up highlighting your strength. The same rejection that wounded you will redirect you to rooms you actually belong in. God is orchestrating this full circle moment not just to bless you, but to show the world what divine reversal looks like. You were never behind. You were being positioned. You were never losing. You were being hidden, and now the unveiling begins. You are entering a season of divine exposure. Chosen one. The things you did in silence, the prayers, the hard work, the faithfulness, the endurance, they are about to speak louder than anything your critics ever said. God is bringing visibility to your obedience. He's about to shine light on your name, not because you demanded it, but because you remained consistent when no one was watching. The world is about to see the fruit of your unseen battles. They'll see your glow, your peace, your strength, but they won't understand the price you paid for it. And when that happens, don't let pride take root. Remember that this glow didn't come from easy days. It came from nights spent crying out in faith. It came from heartbreaks that didn't break you. It came from moments when you had every reason to give up, but chose to believe instead. Stay humble, chosen one. Stay grounded. The same God who lifted you can lift others through you. You are not just being blessed. You are being positioned as a vessel, a light, a living testimony of what happens when someone refuses to quit on their calling. You see, what your enemies never understood is that you were never chasing recognition. You were chasing purpose. That's what made you unstoppable. They thought that by ignoring you, they could silence you. They thought that by excluding you, they could erase you. But you can't erase what heaven has written. You can't silence what God has anointed. You can't destroy what's divinely protected. You were chosen, and that's a status no human opinion can revoke. Every no they gave you pushed you closer to the yes God had waiting. Every betrayal was a blessing in disguise. Every delay was divine protection in slow motion. You weren't being left out. You were being set apart. That's why you never fit in with everyone else. That's why you felt different, misunderstood, isolated. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. The anointing on your life made you unrelatable to people who only live on the surface. But now, that same difference that once made you lonely is about to make you legendary. Chosen one, understand that your story carries power, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. People will look at you and see resilience. They'll hear your voice and feel peace. They'll witness your transformation and believe again. That's your ministry. That's your purpose. You don't have to force it or fake it. Your authenticity is what inspires others. The same tears that once felt wasted are now watering seeds of hope in people you've never even met. And yes, the journey ahead will still have challenges, but now you're different. You've been equipped. You've been seasoned by storms and molded by miracles. You know how to stand in the face of fear and not flinch. You've learned to let God handle what your hands can't control. You've learned to trust His timing even when it doesn't match your plan. That's maturity. That's mastery. That's divine growth. This next wave of your life will not require the old version of you. The anxious, overthinking, self-doubting version is gone. The healed, confident, and peaceful version is emerging. You've outgrown your past. You're done begging for what you deserve. You're done explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You're done shrinking to make others comfortable. You are walking in alignment now with your purpose, your peace, and your Creator. The reason they couldn't stop you is because what's inside you was never theirs to control. God placed something eternal within you, a fire that can't be extinguished, a light that can't be dimmed, a purpose that can't be stolen. And now, that fire is about to burn brighter than ever. Every setback was fuel. Every disappointment was oxygen. Every loss was transformation. You didn't lose anything that was truly yours. You were just shedding what couldn't go where you're headed. Chosen one, you are not entering this new chapter with pain. You're entering it with power. You've graduated from a school of struggle. You've earned your peace. You've earned your clarity. And heaven is standing behind you, ready to amplify your next move. You're not fighting anymore. You're flowing. You're not chasing anymore. You're attracting. You're not surviving anymore. You're thriving. The time has come for the world to see what endurance looks like when it's touched by grace. They'll see your rise and call it sudden, but you'll know it was years in the making. They'll call it luck, but you'll know it was divine timing. They'll wonder how you kept standing, but you'll know the answer, because God carried you. So walk boldly, chosen one. Lift your head. Straighten your crown. The very winds that try to blow you off course are now pushing you into destiny. The same storms that once terrified you are now testifying for you. You are walking proof that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You are the evidence that faith cannot be defeated. You are the living, breathing manifestation of divine purpose fulfilled through perseverance. Chosen one, you're about to see why they couldn't stop you, because they were never meant to. You were born for this moment, built for this battle, and chosen for this victory. The light in you is rising, the promise is manifesting, and the glory of God is about to make everything make sense. Keep walking. Keep believing. The story isn't over, it's only just beginning.